Scheduled work session.
Is it just mine? Your mic on?
Gina?
To clarify, this is a monthly work session of the mayor and council. This is a meeting that is held each month to allow the members to discuss specific items in preparation for regular council meeting, which is held the second Tuesday of each month. The dialogue of this meeting will be between the mayor, council, and staff members only. The time for the citizen involvement will come at a regular meeting to be held next Tuesday during the citizens' input proportion of the meeting. We respectfully ask that you hold your comments or any questions until that time unless called upon. Once the meeting is adjourned, we ask that everyone exit the meeting room and the property in a timely manner. Thank you.
Okay. Item 1.
Item 1, explore and discuss options for Brindley Court.
Vicki?
Yes, I brought this up again this week because I was hoping that after several weeks that cooler heads would prevail. It got a little heated last time, but I wanted to let the citizens of Brindley Court realize that we were still thinking about this. So I thought after a couple of weeks, maybe there could be some options brought to the table for this issue, which bleeds right into number 2, actually, so. Number 1 and number 2 is that same area. So does anybody have any options?
I'm the same as last time. Bring it into the, bring the road into the city if it's not there. Mr. Cole and Porch paid to put the base coat or B coat down and put a deposit, $28,000 we finally found, or whatever, has got a receipt of that amount. So evidently the city estimated at that time that's what it would take to pave it. So they spent half of that, $14,000. So it seemed like they would know more than $14,000 more.
What did you say about spending half of it?
I don't have the figure in front of me. Was it 28? What?
It's in your packet, I believe.
I can't read it either. It's small.
It's little, I couldn't read it.
28.2.
It's 28 something.
It's 28.2.
22. So just say half and half. If they put the base coat down, half that, say 14,000, then they would owe the other 14,000 to put a top coat on it. Or they bonded the city with putting that check up that we did receive after all the commotion.
Well, it was, they did have notice way ahead to find it, and then they did find it after you all asked them to.
Well, I don't think we need to burden them. I think the city needs to take part of the burden too.
Well, I think based on what Jeff told me, they're sitting there, he can correct me, that action was put up to put the top coat on, not the bottom coat. The bottom coat was supposed to be his job, the road prepared as it should be, and the bottom coat was his job, and the $28,000 was to pave it, to do the top coat.
Since you brought up his name, you want to ask him that?
No, I don't think I'm allowed to, I don't think so. I just remember that's what my notes say.
First of all, putting the top coat on does not solve the problem. The problem is that what was built out there was not built properly to any standard. Apparently, there's clay trapped under there that's wet, that should never been, that should have been removed and the proper dirt put out, proof rolled, then the base, and then the B mix. So the only way to fix it is to take all of that out and start from scratch, because it's obvious and you can see it. I can't see it, but Brandon's been out there to see it. But the bottom line is they did not construct it properly, or it has failed. And putting a top coat on is that's not an option. That would just throw away money. So it's not that simple a solution.
Well, I understand that, but the clay or chert, is clay and chert the same thing?
No,
Okay.
clay is the one, but if it was chert, it'd probably been properly constructed.
But who's
clay-
saying, I guess, Mayor, politely, who's saying that it was not built to standards? Just because it's not holding up well, or?
That's right, that's what Brandon's been saying since day one. And the clay is pumped up and is exposed when those heavy trucks got on it. So it was built on an inferior foundation. Now, everybody wants to help these folks, there's no doubt about that. But to remove what's there, you're gonna have to take all that's there.
I understand.
And dispose of that. Then you're gonna have to haul, including the clay that is traps water. And you got, when you put weight on clay, that's what happens. It squishes, for a better word. So the only way to properly do it is to remove all of that, bring in the proper chert or other approved fill, then put your base coat on, then the two asphalt.
Well, it needs to be rebuilt, nobody's,
Well,
nobody's saying
from
that,
scratch,
yeah.
and that, now we're talking about a $100,000 job. Rather, the $20,000 is not gonna touch.
I thought we got a price lower than that.
Everything I've had said around $100,000. To do it, all, like he says, everything coming out and put back together,
I
right?
thought you said 40 or 50.
Yeah, it was around 50, 60, but I think that was for the materials or something.
Right,
I don't
that
think it
wasn't
was
for the
just
base.
for the,
I
something
also
else.
think that was an estimate from way back too, but yeah, I think that was just to put a top coat on it, that would cost around 60,000, 40 to 60,000. 49 to 60,000, I do believe that's the right number. Just to put a top coat on it now, and the top coat wouldn't solve the problem now.
Do we have any idea what the entire job would cost in today's money? to
$100,000.
fix it? And,
The guess has been, there's not been any official, Brandon has told me that it would be $100,000 at least,
at least
and
$100,000.
maybe more than that.
Brandon, is that time and materials for your workers doing it? Can you- can-
It's 60,000 for the paving that Lincoln Paving has quoted me. And then I estimated about 40,000 for Public Works to come in and tear out the rock and everything else. But that's also employees' time, and that's also on a week schedule. If we get it done before a week, it'll cost us a little less than 40,000, but I'm basing it on a week, 40-hour work week.
So you're talking about the employees, basically, the city public works.
The 40,000 will be the employees,
Tearing it
material,
up.
the tear out, prep, and everything.
And material ready to, does that include the B coat?
No, the coats is the 60,000. That's the bottom and the top.
Okay.
But it's not the crushed stone.
Yes, that includes the crushed stone underneath,
That's within
the
that.
40,000.
Yeah, I mean, we asked last time what it's gonna cost, and we've got 40 or 50, so this 100, I've never heard this 100,000 till tonight.
no, I think the quote he was giving was what they would charge to do
I
it.
turned that into Miss Woods, I believe, that same week. So somewhere in there.
I know you told me 100,000 to tear out everything and put it back together, and you said it would be at least that, it could be more.
Yeah.
Well, the easy thing to do is to call Lincoln Paving and ask them to come over and give an estimate. If there's
Have they
a
already
question
done it?
about that.
Sorry,
They,
Pardon
they
me?
done already done that?
Yeah, that's where the 60.
That's where the
came from.
60 come from.
But that's not taking up the old stuff.
Well, I
Yes,
think
they
this,
won't pave unless that old stuff's gone.
yeah.
They told me that they're gonna do it or we can do it, and I told them we'll do it. That's the 40,000.
You didn't get no price of what they would do it for? It was way more than 40, wasn't
It'd be more for
it?
Now, the bigger issue is, as much as we feel for the residents out here, if I'm reading what MTask is telling us, is if we do this for these people, the developers have failed to construct the road properly. There's no question about that. If we do this for them, then every other developer has the right to do the same thing. You just can't do it for one person, you have to do it for all. And we're in the process now, or Barbara is, finding out all of the ones that would fall under this if we chose to do this one. There are a lot of roads that have not had the final coat put on them. And we are looking, or Barbara has got Richard, he's here, he's looking to see about all the bonds that we have and whether some of those bonds have expired. And so if we did that for them, we've got the potential of much more than $100,000. And I don't think we are, as this council, is willing to raise property taxes to pay for what the responsibility is for the developers. That's not just this instance, that's all of them. And that's what we would be doing. Are you in favor of raising taxes to?
Mayor, I voted against tax raise this year.
Okay, are you willing though, if this thing mushrooms to where?
I'm willing to cut
it's a-
expenses and not raise taxes, yes.
But, okay, you made your position clear, but you still, well, we'll leave that as it is. But yes, you did fail to raise taxes every time you voted on taxes.
I've only voted for it once, and I voted against it. Mayor, can we stick to Brindley Court? And if you would, since we already just got this memo from Ms. Woods, would you allow her to read this so the audience could, or Mr. Hutto, either one, to know what's in this document we just received?
Are you asking me to ask her?
Well, you want us to talk to you, so I was trying to do the proper procedure.
Well, what is it that you're requesting?
Ask her to read this memo. She just,
Ask who?
Me.
Ms. Woods,
Okay, all right,
or Mr. Hutto, either one.
all right, permission granted.
You want to read or you want me to?
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. I made a phone, to set it up, I made a phone call to MTS and talked with them, or asked them about the situation and what effect it would have on the city. And when I spoke with Mr. John Waddell, who is the lawyer for MTS, and discussed the Brindley Court issue, he and Mr. Hutto then spoke together, and Mr. Hutto summarized the final decisions that they had made in the conversation. I spoke with John Waddell and discussed the Brindley Court issue. I would agree with him that the city would not be able to pursue the developer after accepting the road. That limits the actions of the city, that the city has to, one, accepting the road and paying the entire repair cost. Two, negotiating an agreement with Porch to complete the road with a shared cost and then accepting the road. Although there might be difficulty with this as the city still runs into the issue of paying funds for a street that it does not own. I think Porch would have to be reimbursed after the city accepted the road. But I think that any agreement in this regard would need to specify that any reimbursement to Porch is contingent on the work meeting or exceeding the current standard and the repairs the underlying defects. Three, provide information to the residents that the city position is that they can group together and sue Mr. Porch to complete the road as they are the ones who have the legal case against him. Four, accept the road and create a special assessment against the residents for the repair cost. Both the charter and TCA allow this, but that the specifics will have to be checked if the council wants to pursue that. And that's from Mr. Hutto via his conversation with Mr. John Waddell from MTS.
Yeah, Mr. Hutto is Porch and Coble, not just Porch.
right, well, we're trying to remember that.
Okay, I'll make a suggestion that we strike out 4 completely.
Absolutely.
Is what?
Strike
Strike out
out
4
option
completely.
4. This is not the residents' fault.
Oh, I agree with that.
I agree with that.
Read the fourth one again.
That was accept the road and create a special assessment against the residents for the repair costs. Both the charter and the TCA allow this, but the specifics have to be researched.
How many houses are on this affected by this?
8, his senior saying 8.
Yeah, I can-
8 houses.
8 into $100,000 would be a pretty
Oh, yeah.
pretty big special assessment. But it also says that, we can't, repair it and then sue Hawkins and Porch.
Cameron,
Okay.
Coble.
Coble, I'm
Sorry, Cam.
Right,
I'm
right,
sorry,
that's
Coble.
right. It says, the specific thing said to me was that if we accepted it, then we lost the case to make them pay any part of it unless they had to pay it up front before you accepted the road.
I've got a question, and it's just a question of thought. Does the city have any fault of it not getting done because the city manager at that time didn't do it? I mean, would that be a fault of ours? I mean, if he had done it, this all would have been,
I think
We
there's a
don't- we
lot of
don't know.
details we don't know.
we don't know why he didn't do it.
I don't. Does anybody know?
Well, the check was not, according to what was all discussed with me, the check was not enough to cover it after it had waited from 2018 to 2024.
Well, that,
And the
yeah.
check was handed back, was what I was told. I think in the phone call by Mr. Porch, that's what my notes say, that the check was handed back and said, this is not enough, it would cost 4 times that now to do it.
Well, then the question, we don't know why he waited that long, but he was representing the city at that time.
And he failed to properly, see that the road was properly constructed.
It was not ready to be paved in the condition it was in.
Okay.
So it couldn't be accepted and be paved, because it wasn't in condition, just like he says Lincoln Paving says they wouldn't pave it now without tearing it all out. So I assume that was what they had found out too.
But
I
shouldn't
wasn't
the-
city manager at the time, so I can't tell you for sure.
But shouldn't the city, when they require a bond, be responsible for making sure that bond covers the cost?
I think
With
in
with,
I'm sorry.
with a date that the bond would expire and the city would notify the people that it has expired so they could make arrangements to rebond it?
It's assuming you have a process in place. It appears that we did not.
That's what I think, there was no process in place. However, it was during that COVID period and things were out of whack, and so I don't know what happened, but his check was dated 2018. The next time he did anything out there, if I understand Miss Senior right, was 2024. The next time Jeff did anything, it was just a gravel road until then, and the people out there asked him to please put a top coat on the road. Now, that was my understanding. In a conversation with Jeff, the check was, the phone calls and the conversations and everything that he related to me, but the check was given back because, and told it was not enough to pave the road with anymore.
Was it a bond or was it an agreement?
I have no idea, I'm sorry,
We
Mr.
don't
Ross,
know
I don't know.
that, Ronald. We don't know what went on.
Well, the receipt it said, it's a receipt for, we're holding the money, but the check was given back.
Do we know the check was given back?
Well, Mr. Porch told me it was.
And there's no evidence of it being on our books. Helen,
But it was logged into our books, or should have been, it was logged into our receipt books. And if it was not properly recorded, then that's the city's fault.
Well, that may have been the process at the time. It's my understanding, that's why I went to the vault looking for checks that day when I found those old ones. The process was just accept the check and lay it in the vault, and then that was just the standard way it was done back then.
The first
And there
one-
it was not receipted in through the treasurer. That, based on standards we've set up now, since I've been in here, that would never happen again, but I can't account for how it happened back then.
Well, never say never.
Well, right now, if I understand it correctly, our codes Director Richard has been charged with reviewing all of the bonds to see where we're vulnerable and to come up with a system. Now, what we need is a irrevocable bond with a escalator to it if it takes more time than necessary, or an irrevocable letter of credit. And I think I'm recommending that either the planning commission or this body adopt that. Otherwise, you're gonna get in this same situation again. But the bottom line still is, the road is not properly built, and $20,000 putting a top coat is not an option. The
Mayor,
only
Mayor, we
option.
all understand that. The road's gotta be rebuilt.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions?
Well, we know it's gotta be gonna rebuild, but I guess the question is who's gonna pay for it?
Well, that option has been laid out by MTask. Mr. Hutto, is that correct?
Yes, because right now, there's do all the planning and subdivision documents that got submitted, the permits, the things, are they enough to be a contract between Mr. Porch, Mr. Coble, and the city that they're gonna build this subdivision, they're gonna dedicate these roads, but the roads, before they can be dedicated and accepted, are gonna be complete. And there's not an actual, one-page contract or single document that sets all that out. It's a collection of planning department submissions. So I don't know if that's an enforceable enough contract for the city to pursue them. What I do know is that under the law, either Mr. Porch and Mr. Coble still own the dirt underneath that street, or all the residents of that street do. And all the residents of that street, either way, they have enforceable contracts, essentially warranty of title and access to a public road in their deeds against Mr. Porch and Mr. Coble, because they're the ones who sold the property, and they're absolutely the ones that can pursue this. I think most likely if they pursue Mr. Porch and Mr. Coble, they're gonna sue the city, and we'll see what happens if they did that, but they could all find an attorney and pursue this. I think it would be less likely that the city could be successful simply pursuing Mr. Porch and Mr. Coble, but we could certainly negotiate some sort of an agreement with them to say, hey, let's figure out how to fix it. Maybe we'll figure out how to share the costs and negotiate that, but certainly does need to be fixed. But unfortunately, the city's, we can't spend money on something we don't own yet.
Any further questions? So I see the next thing that we're doing is we're going to examine all of our bonds. Is that correct,
Yes.
Barbara?
Yes.
And see how much liability, how much exposure we have on all of these other projects that don't have their top coat on or not completely finished.
Right.
And that's very important, because again, if we do it for one, we have to do it for all. And that would, I think, lead to a tax increase. not a cut in our current budget. Okay, anything else? Let's go on to the
I
next.
have just one comment I'd like to add.
Yeah.
If we're going to make sure we have a good process in place, sounds like one of the things we have to have is an inspection. We need to have a specification document to hand to these developers and say, this is the standard.
Well,
This
that's
is-
already all in our subdivision regulations.
all there.
There's an appendix that says this is what road cross-sections should look like, this is how deep they should be. If they're a local street, they should be this way, if they're a collector. If they're, one of the other size roads, then they're, different depths and formats of the GAB asphalt and other things. It has all the curbs in there. So that we have these things.
So, but we need to do an inspection as well, I would think. Before any acceptance happens, there should be a thorough inspection.
I think Brandon.
There is
Brandon does that.
there is an inspection.
So,
we do
And,
have
and if it's not,
inspections.
if it's not accepted, then it didn't meet the standard.
Each step needs to be inspected, and Mr. Hutto, I think we need to, I don't know if it's in there now, but we need to amend that portion that you're talking about, and say that it's being built to the standard specification of the latest version of the Tennessee Department of Transportation's requirements. And that's talking about density and how you prepare your road, in addition to what we already have.
Brandon, do we build all roads in town on TDOT standards?
We have an inspection sheet that we inspect these roads on. This particular road was before my time when it was actually built, when it put gravel on. I think Buck was probably there at that time. So I couldn't tell you if that specific road had an inspection, I don't know. I don't know. I know what I do though is we go out, we have an inspection sheet, they have to meet certain requirements as we look at the road. It also has to have a fully loaded dump truck or a big truck to roll on it that's loaded.
See if it
To
pumps.
check for compaction or anything, see if it pumps. I mean, we do all that stuff now, I just, particular,
It's called proof rolling.
yes.
So, do you think the road was improperly built?
I couldn't answer that because I did not see the road as it was.
Okay, so we as a body don't know.
But I can tell you that the spots that are in it need to be dug up and filled back in with rock. Until you dig it up, I couldn't tell you how deep to dig until we basically hit some solid stuff.
Okay, so we as a body do not know if it was improperly built. We just don't know, right?
Well, you drive out there and look at it. There's evidence enough of that.
Well, you put heavy dump trucks and garbage trucks on, it's gonna tear it up.
Well, does it on every street that we
That's
build?
right, every street.
That happens on every street? Any further on this? Next item, please.
Item 2, update from interim city manager on Southview Drive and Cooper Lane.
All right, we did get a request from Mr. Porch to accept Southview Drive and Cooper Lane, and Brandon has been out and he inspected them and said that they were acceptable. However, we, again, dealing with best practices and how it should be done, it has been determined by legal that we should go through planning and zoning and they accept it and then bring it to the council to accept. So rather than be on your agenda this month, it'll be on your agenda next month to accept 2 roads that he's filled out papers on to have accepted. But that, in determining best practices, the best way to do it, that would be several paper trails that could be followed that the road had been accepted. We wouldn't hit into this where somebody had to search everywhere to see if a road was accepted or not. It would be an easy trail.
And Brandon, these roads were properly built?
Yes, those pass proof rolls and everything.
And they have their secondary coat waiting for their waiting for the,
No,
they're completely done.
complete.
I'm sorry, they're complete.
That's what we used, is that what we used with part of the $300,000 for paving?
No, we didn't touch it. No, we stopped that up to them, is what we stopped.
Well, these were after you
This is
passed
the
the road that
backside.
they had to do
So-
it. This is the backside of Southview Drive.
Yeah, I understand that, but who, is the top coat on it?
Yes, now that they have to do it.
Who, the developer has not put the top coat on
The
those?
developer has put the top coat on those two.
Before, that portion is
The
accepted.
Brandon.
back part that we're talking about accepting, the developer has put the bottom and the top coat on, it is complete.
Okay,
The front part, we paid that, but that was because that was already accepted years ago. The front part was.
okay. Any more questions about that? So that'll be on the agenda in the future because we're going
Yes.
to the planning commission
Yes.
first.
We're gonna start, they
It'll
go
be
through
on
the
the
planning
planning
commission
commission
first, and then
agenda.
they'll come to the council. And that's two routes for
What's the
it.
criteria that planning commission will look at to accept it? Any test or what's the criteria that they would go by?
If his form is correct and Brandon has signed off that the road was built correctly, then the planning commission will make a recommendation to you to accept the road. They won't accept anything, they'll just make a recommendation to the council to accept the road then. It's just another step in the
Will there be a
process.
test engineer to watch the dump trucks, will they pump or not? And
That would be if, I would assume that would have already been done when Brandon signs off that they've been built properly. I don't think you'd be asking the planning commission itself to engage in that, because there's not,
Well, no, I'm just wondering what criteria they're gonna go by to either turn it down or accept it, that's all I'm asking.
just the application by the developer, the approval by Brandon that it's been done correctly, and then the planning commission would make a recommendation to you that everything has been checked, and we think it's time for you to look at it, see if you want to adopt the road.
Okay, any further questions? Next item.
Item 3, consider street lights to be installed on Cambridge Court. 3 60-watt LED lights with arms. And Wista Way, there'll be 2 lights, 60-watt light with arms, and Cheatham Estates. So they sent a request, LES did, from developer Tommy Cheatham. Ms. Woods has a list of all that is kind of grandfathered in, is that correct?
Yes, according to the electric company. Now, this is because a lot of our planning and zoning standards have changed, and the lighting became the responsibility of developers too. But for whatever reason, these are the ones the electric company said were grandfathered in, and the city of Lewisburg would be installing these poles and lights. And Cheatham Estates is in there, Wista Way and Cambridge Court. And then there's a Southview Drive extension, and a Cooper Drive, and a Maley Ann Drive that are still, I think all of those are Mr. Porch's roads, except Cheatham Estates.
Is that the road on the right? I know they got the street at dead ends that nobody's built there yet, but is that the road on the right going in also?
Are you talking about Cheatham Estates?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Wista goes in, and Cambridge, you all have accepted
goes
as a
to the
road,
right.
and it goes to the right.
Now, what we're talking about, we're not talking about placing the pole. We're talking about the metal brackets and the lighting fixture itself that will go on the list where we pay LES.
Investment credit.
Now, after these that are grandfathered in, then the lights become the responsibility of in these new subdivisions and things, the lights are the responsibility of the developers in the future, and some of them now.
Any objection to that being on the Tuesday agenda?
Is there a cost to this?
Yes,
Yes.
What is it?
$1,785.75.
But we pay it that goes into all the other street lights where we don't pay them directly. We pay them 11.5%. Is it 11.5%, Councilman?
The
Yeah,
rate we
probably,
pay.
probably 12 and a half, something like that.
Forever.
Forever, that's right.
So that's one of the reasons we changed this on streetlights, so we wouldn't have to pay that 11.5% for eternity. And we have changed over a bunch of the traffic signals, which until we changed that, every traffic signal was under the same formula, which was much, much bigger cost. But as, for instance, North Ellington Parkway, all of those lights were replaced by TDOT, but they were not given to LES, they were given to the city of Lewisburg. And we call on LES if there's a light out, that we could pay them, reimburse them for that cost. Heil Avenue at West Commerce is another one. The one that's taken forever, that's gonna be on Mooresville Pike in West Ellington, that will belong to the city of Lewisburg, where we won't have to pay 11.5% in perpetuity.
I'm a little confused, Mayor. The new subdivisions, they pay to put the light up and all that, but who actually pays the electric bill, the subdivision or the city on the investment credit?
After the lights are up and the subdivision and the roads and everything are accepted, the bill comes to the city, doesn't it?
We still pay the light bill, right, Mayor?
I think so.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not 100% on that, but I believe
Yeah,
that's
I
correct.
think we do, yeah.
And while we're talking about an electric company, my goodness, what a fine electric company we have. How organized they were. The preventive maintenance that they did is remarkable. The planning our public works department did and clearing our roads was remarkable. The police, also participating in so many phases during this ice and snow are exemplary. And in my opinion, we live in the best place in the world. And I'm proud of all our dedicated department, people correcting us. I know my neighbors' children who live in Nashville are living with their parents next door to me as we speak, because they've been without power for, I forget how many days. I'm talking about Eddie and Janet Wiles' daughter Erin and her family. They're still without power. Next item.
Item 4, consider appointing interim city treasurer Debbie Montgomery as trustee for the city of Lewisburg's defined benefit pension plan.
Questions? Who's on for that? Anybody requested, or is it general?
It's just for council, because
Okay.
we've got to have a city treasurer interim to do the
Any
defined
Any
benefits.
questions about this? So we do that when? Make her,
It's a resolution that will be presented next Tuesday night, and it will be given to One America, Debbie, it's One America, and she will be the official trustee over that defined benefits plan for all the employees, city of Lewisburg.
okay, this is not for her
No,
permanent
no,
appointment?
no,
Okay, just for
yes,
that particular program?
yes.
Okay. Any objection to that being on the agenda? Next item?
Item 5 is other business.
Anybody with other business? Do you have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
Councilwoman Thomas makes a motion, is there a second?
Ken, you want
Councilman Crutcher seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Yeah.
All ayes? All those opposed?
Oh.
Say no. We stand adjourned.
Okay.